Hey guys, this is Yolanda from Yology Holistic Wellness, giving you this video as a March energy update on what is all going on. So if you haven't noticed, we had the full moon on Tuesday, which was really in effect because of the emotions that have been running wild. If you haven't noticed that, not just from your own, maybe from others as well, becoming triggered and things like that. And so the month of March is an emotional one because a lot of people are thinking way too much than what they're supposed to be, and those thoughts are kind of feeding those emotions. So it's bringing kind of like a cycle of energetic drainage and feeding. It's like what is that expression when they say, oh, you feed off of each other, right? So that's what the emotions and the thoughts are doing this month, because everyone is excessively thinking about things that they need to do, or they're not feeling validated for the opinion that they have, because there's a lot of worldviews that are going on right now, and it could just be that they just don't feel validated with significant others or those that are intimately around them. So that is leading the emotions to kind of run wild, and so when we get emotional, we tend to hold on to those emotions, and sometimes when we're not being validated by other people, we tend to feed off of their emotions, not so much, or their thoughts as well. So it just really depends on what the situation is. Every situation is different, but you may notice that your thoughts and your emotions are not the only thing that are feeding off of each other. It could be that you are also feeding off of whoever else's thoughts or emotions. It could be that maybe their thoughts are conflicting with your thoughts because you guys are not seeing eye to eye, and then you are harboring the emotions that lead up to that. So thoughts and emotions are cause and effect. So when we think positive, we're happy, we're ecstatic. When we think negative, we're sort of harboring guilt, resentment, blame, those type of things. So there are 4 energetic bodies that need to be balanced at all times in order to maintain a happy lifestyle. It's not just chakras, it is the spiritual, the physical, the mental, and the emotional. So a person can tend to lead with more of one than the other. So right now you're probably leading with the emotional and the mental, and so those things really need to become balanced for the month of March. And what this means is that you possibly need to focus more on grounding things like your physical, like focusing on the physical, taking time for self-care, taking time to create healthy boundaries, and just taking the time to do you, so to speak, or to focus on self-care as far as spiritual practices go. And this could be delving more into your meditation, doing more classes, gaining more insight on whatever spiritual topics that you've been kind of like maybe postponing due to dealing with emotional or mental conflict, because all of those are distractions. So March will be a lot of distractions because everybody wants to feel validated. So right now is the time to seek internal peace within yourself. Practice delve into your spiritual practice, maybe a little bit more than you have been in the past, and just focus on the things that you've been kind of neglecting. Don't give anything or anyone outside that is not worth the energy drainage or whatever. That's not worth draining your energy, so to speak. Try to detach from it as much as possible. Detachment and disconnect are 2 totally different things. So detachment is simply acknowledging the other person's emotion or thoughts, but not becoming absorbed with it. Disconnecting is just completely ignoring and avoiding the issue, which you don't want to do. And so when you have detachment and you have disconnecting, those are two things that are pivotal within the mental and the emotional levels, because those two kind of like, it's like a tag team. So like if you think of emotional, that's kind of like detachment, whereas the mind caters more to disconnecting, wanting to disconnect and just avoid the situation. Because like really, in all honesty, when something's bothering us, how often do we really want to sit there and think consistently of it? So it's really easy to disconnect instead of detach. And then when you do both, you kind of become numbed to everything that's happening around you, and you really don't want that happening, because you want to live in a peace loving state that allows yourself to show your vulnerability, allows you to show that kindness and that compassion towards others the way that you want to be treated. And so there's that mutual respect. And so for the month of March, make sure that you do treat those people with a compassionate, mutual understanding, without judgment and without fear and without being biased, because that is the main goal for the month of March. And so I'm drawing this card, to maybe a couple of cards, I don't know, it depends on what I feel like, to give you your advice for the month of March. So the month of March is telling you to celebrate those good vibes that are around you. If they're not around you at this moment, you want to create your tribe. You want to focus on the people that lift you up, that inspire you, that helps you with your transitions, that are there to support you through thick and thin. Maybe if you don't have that community, now is the time to build that community. So even though emotions and thoughts are kind of like throwing darts all over the place, it doesn't mean that you need to like live in hermit mode. It just means that it's time to recreate the different circles that you've been hanging out with. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't socialize. It just means it's time to find the right vibrational people that do serve your higher self. Maybe joining more spiritual groups, like meditation groups, connecting with those Reiki share groups that are out there, just doing more classes, going out and mingling. Maybe change your routine up a bit, because if you're stuck in a routine, that also drives the mind crazy, because you're doing the same thing over and over again. That's the definition of insanity. So you really don't want to do that. So go out on a whim, take a chance, take a risk, have fun in doing it. The next card that fell out was the Eight of Cups. Going into new uncharted territory with confidence and with peace and ease, and allowing yourself to let go of the false illusions that have been kind of clouding your emotional state. Learning to identify what emotions are yours and which one aren't is very vital. So that's going to help you to detach, not disconnect. So there's a difference. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you want to stay up to date, follow me on YouTube or on my Facebook. So have a great weekend. Peace, love, and light.